What up, everybody? It's your boy Smooth Older, aka Real Ghost Fight.
Hey, this is Nikita, aka Jakari Star.
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Bob.
This is Kaya, aka Black Honey.
Hey folks, this is Corey, the host for Metal for Brains.
Your girl, she's so pretty.
This is Greg, the infamous Louise like Turner.
Kicking it with the homie Corey, aka The Real Shitty. Now you're listening to On The Air Podcast.
And you're listening to the On The Air Podcast.
The On The Air Podcast.
The On The Air Podcast.
It's starring you.
Starring you.
Starring you.
You know, I realize, and we're going to get into this a little bit more. We have another one of the hosts of the SMS Podcast, 1/3 host. But one thing they always do at the beginning of their episodes is they always introduce themselves, and I never do. So
You really don't. Hey, y'all know me. Y'all know me.
Right, and what's funny is y'all introduce yourselves, and I'm sitting here like, man, I know who y'all are, like, but y'all not doing it for me. I'm not the only one, and now I'm 22, 23 episodes in, and motherfuckers don't even know who I am.
Right. Come on, man. Got it. So what about new listeners?
Do you know when I introduced myself at the very end of the podcast? And when I'm doing my little small promotions or whatnot, that's when I say I'm your host Corey. So I want to start off now. I'm gonna do it in the beginning.
Switch it up.
Exactly, because this is my show. I own the network. I can do this, right?
It's your shit.
It's my shit, right? All right, so another episode of the OTAPshow. I'm your host, Corey. You can follow me on Twitter at The Real Shitty. That's Shitty, SCHITTY. Or you can follow the show's Twitter at OTAPshow. We have on the line Shayla from the SMS Podcast. You can follow her on Twitter at Matisse's Pieces. What's going on, Shayla?
Hi. Howdy.
What's up?
What's really good?
It's good. It's going. I'm doing good. Excited to be on here.
Cool. All right, so check it out.
Cool.
So check this out. You ready?
I'm ready. Wait, I'm ready.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Oh, God. War Eagle. Oh, Corey, you're not, man. Don't do me like that. We're having a shitty season.
No.
Don't do me.
No. So
I'm going to go cry at the corner.
I had to do it because I used to date a lady from Alabama, and she was like Roll Tide all day, and I didn't really understand why college football was so strong. I mean, I get it, but that is the team. You got two teams in Alabama, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I guess it's football because y'all don't have.
No.
Yeah.
We don't have any professional sports teams. So.
Right. So she told me, she would tell me basically that same thing and how serious the Roll Tide War Eagle rivalry is. She told me one time that this dude, she was in the store, and I'm quoting because she's Roll Tide. She said this dude came in the store in Tuscaloosa talking that War Eagle shit and got slapped in the face.
I'm not surprised.
I'm
not at all surprised. When I used to work here in Alabama, I had patients at work who would be like, Alabama down, and if you come in there talking about some War Eagle, they would give you the look like, War Eagle? You don't get the fuck out of here. Like they want to fire you if you're not an Alabama fan. You come in there being an Auburn fan, they want to get you the fuck out of here. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's serious. The rivalry runs deep.
So, you went to Auburn?
No, I actually went to. Surprising. I actually went to a University of Alabama charter school, UA Huntsville in Huntsville, Alabama. But I've always been an Auburn fan, like since I'll say in high school, because my tennis coach in high school was a huge Auburn fan. And I love that man to death. And so by default, I became an Auburn fan because I wasn't really checking for football for real when I was in high school. I was like, yeah, whatever. He like Auburn. I like Auburn. So ever since then, I've been rolling with him.
Okay.
So
Cool.
War Eagle all day, every day.
I mean, okay, this is the first time that I've had somebody on the show that represent the War Eagles. That's cool. All right, fine. You had y'all run Cam Newton. That was cool. Who is from Atlanta, Westlake High School.
Okay.
All right, so you said you went to University of Alabama, Huntsville, and correct me if I'm wrong, you pledged Delta?
I did. Delta Sigma Theta.
All right, so
Sorority Incorporated.
So we gotta have this conversation, right? Okay. I had a Q on my show a few episodes ago. My knowledge of sororities and fraternities are limited, and anytime I ask about them, I usually get the attitude of, this is my sorority, you've heard of us, or you should already know type. So when I get someone cool enough, I always ask them like the dude who was a Q, I wanted to know what all the barking and shit was about. Because I tried to get a dude to tell me, and he started talking and he started barking, and I'm like, all right, this dude's not taking this conversation.
He got inspired. He started feeling it.
Right. He wasn't taking this conversation serious. Like, I didn't really want to go that route.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, why Delta? Why did you pledge Delta?
I always, the Deltas on our campus were very involved. And I just remember when I got on campus, I grew up in a family of AKAs, surprisingly. Wow. A lot of my aunts are AKAs.
That's interesting conversation at dinner.
I know, right? A lot of my aunts are AKAs. And my mom, I mean, she didn't go to college. She didn't pledge anything. So it's never really been something that she really pushed on me. But when I got on campus, it's just like I just saw the Deltas always out, always working, And no shade to the AKAs on our campus. I don't want to make it seem like it's any shade thrown or anything like that. But it's like their sisterhood just more so resonated with me. Like, okay, they're out here, they're doing things, they're working together. So I like this. I want to try to see if I can get in with these girls. So that what kind of pushed me towards their side. And then the AKs, like I said, on our campus weren't as active. But like I said, no shade or anything.
No shade. Y'all was out there working. They did a little bit. No shade.
And I might be a little bit biased because I am a Delta now, so I might be looking at it with rose-colored glasses, like, oh yeah, we was out there working. We was on campus. We was out. But
right now is an AKA listening saying, you ain't see not one AK doing nothing.
No.
You ain't see nothing.
I said, no shade.
We built UAH.
I'm looking back at it now with rose-colored glasses. but like, UAH is a PWI and it's small, so we already don't have a huge presence on campus with our Black Sorors and Frats. So like, we don't even have Qs on campus. So it's kind of like it's already a small group anyway. Like, there were only 4 girls on my line, so you don't really see that many. But the people you do see, you see them. You want to see them active. You want to see them working. And so I did see that with the Deltas. So that's what kind of pushed me towards it.
Okay. Was there any one particular thing, or just the fact that you saw them active? Like, was there something? Were you ever on the fence or on the edge as far as choosing between pledging Delta and anything else?
I never really was on the fence, which is surprising. Like I said, because I grew up in a family of AKAs. And like I said, when I got on campus, I just felt like more of their presence. They were out there working. They just appealed to me more. Like, their presence just appealed to me more. So I was kind of like, I never really was on the fence. Now that I think about it, I feel like I should have been, considering all the AKAs in my family, but I really wasn't.
So you didn't really give AKAs a chance.
I really didn't, and it's no shade. It's no shade.
No. It's like 12% shade, and that's cool because you're a Delta.
It's like 6% shade. It's like 4.3% shade. But and I am so happy I pledged Delta, because those girls, the girls on my line sisters, my pro fights, like, those are some of the best women I've ever met. And I grew up in a house full of boys, and I never really had that sisterly presence. So, like, to have those women around me and just, like, embracing me and loving me, like, that was truly... I feel like sororities get a bad rep. People always like, oh, I ain't letting nobody beat me, I ain't letting nobody hate me, blah, blah, blah. But it's so much more than that. Like, it's truly a sisterhood. And it's just...
it feels good to be a part of it. So.
What's the coolest thing you've done as while being a Delta? Something that you guys have done together?
So the coolest thing I would say I've done with my line was definitely our probate. That was probably the coolest thing to me because I've always been a shy person, and that was like really our coming out. We got to show out, we got to step, we got to do our chants, our call. We really got to come out and show, all our hard work, what we have been doing. So that was really like the coolest thing for me. And then just like all the charity work, we did some charity work with, there's a rescue mission here in Huntsville that we did a little bit of charity work with, and just kind of working with your sisters with that, like that stuff really was cool. So
that's dope. So you mentioned that you did your call. Now again, this is just my ignorance. And now, and if I'm wrong, again, let me know. But it seems like most, if not all, sorority or fraternity has some signature noise that they make. Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't know the differences, and I want to learn. Like Q's bark, AKAs. They I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure exact. Not AKAs. I was on Q's. I'm sorry. Kappas. I'm not sure what Kappas probably walk really loud. I'm not sure.
They walk really loud.
I'm not sure what they do. Somebody goes Suwu. Somebody goes Suwu. Somebody.
I think. Wait a minute. I think that's Bloods. I don't think.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think that's a.
That's a different fraternity.
I think we're moving into gangs. So let's bring it back. Bring it back.
My bad. Somebody goes Suwu. Somebody goes Ski. What is y'all?
Uwu.
Who do?
Doesn't do that.
Wait. So y'all have a dog sound too.
Well, it's not really a dog sound. It's like it's ooh oop. It's like O O O O P.
Oh, okay. All right. Do it again. Let me see.
Oh.
That's actually kind of dope. Actually, now
that's dope, right?
Yeah. Is there a history behind that?
Well, yeah. There's a history behind. I can't go too much into it. You can't say
it's a secret,
much, but it's not really a secret, but it's more so something you learn when you go through the process. So it's not something you just kind of like tell everybody like, oh, this is what we were founded on, this is why our call is this, and this is why we like elephants, and this is why we do this. It's kind of something you learn when you go through the process. So it's not something you. But
I'll never be able to go through it.
I guess it is kind of a secret. Yeah,
I'll never be able to go through it. I think largely in part because I'm a dude.
Yeah, sorry, it is a little bit of a secret.
Why sororities and fraternities like why y'all so secretive?
I don't know why it's so mysterious. I never really questioned that why it's so mysterious. I think it might have to be with the initiation process, and you want to have like that kind of mystery if you're gonna go through this whole process to even bring membership in. You don't want to just throw everything out. Like people will attract people to even want to come in. So I can see why there is a bit of a mystery. So.
Okay, I mean, You
can Wikipedia us. You can go to our website, duckcitymathay.com.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to.
And you can learn so much.
I don't want to, because I don't want to get you kicked out, but I am really curious about. I'm scared to even like do the sound because I don't know if like I'm allowed to do it. I have to spell it out, or I have to say that sound.
Don't even spell it out.
The delta noise.
Just the delta noise. That's cool. the dope delta noise. You can call it the dope.
Oh, the dope delta noise.
Yeah, you can call it that.
Yeah, deltas love throwing up the rock with another delta.
Our pyramid, yeah.
The pyramid. Again, my ignorance. Don't let me.
No.
Don't. I had no idea. That was called a pyramid.
Just graciously correcting you. That's all.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Just politely correcting you. That's all I'm doing.
But it's a cool thing that I've noticed.
Yeah.
I have friends that are deltas, and when they get around their other delta friends, like they take one half of their pyramid and they get with another half person's pyramid, and it's super dope.
Pyramid. You get 3 people, 2 sides in the bottom of the pyramid. You get a lot of cool little photo shots.
Yeah.
But the pyramid is special. The pyramid means a lot to us. So
I have a lot of respect for the deltas and the AKAs.
I'm glad.
Well, is that usually not the case?
No, I think as far as Black fraternities and sororities go, I feel like the Deltas and the AKAs are the most well known as far as the sororities go. You don't see too many people talking about the SG Rose and the Zetas, but I just feel like I don't want to say we get the most respect, but I do feel like we're the kind of more well known, more popular sororities.
Deltas have this presence, this very distinguished presence. Mm-hmm. And it's so dope. And again, like you said, no shade. I see Deltas mostly in powerful business positions. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah, no, it's super dope.
Shout to the Sorors.
Exactly. So and I can I've been around so many Deltas. I can kind of tell a woman that's a Delta when I see her. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it has to do with how she carries herself. Again, no shade to AKAs. It's just something that I've noticed.
Yeah. It's like so dope when I come across another soror and you can kind of tell, like walking on them, like I think that's a soror. And then like when you talk to them, you're like, you know, you see maybe like a Delta keychain, or they got a Delta license plate, or maybe they're carrying a Delta bag or something like that. And you're like, you know, you do a little greeting, like, hello, soror. And you can kind of tell. It's kind of like once you're in the soror, you can tell, like, oh, that's a Delta woman right there. That's my soror, you know.
At what point do you do the dope Delta sound?
We usually try to keep the dope Delta sound to, you know, parties, functions, areas where many Deltas are congregating. I don't really try to bust out the dope Delta sound at work when I see a soror.
But you kind of want to though, don't you?
I want to. You know, when you see a soror, you want to call out to her. You want to throw your pyramid up with, take an Instagram picture, like, what's up, soror? But you know, you got to keep it a minimum. Sometimes you just, you know, do your little greeting and you're like, hey, soror, you know, I see you. See you in the cafeteria, you know. I see you after work, girl. We'll get up, you know.
You do like a
keep it cute.
You do a small pyramid.
Yeah, we just do a pyramid, telepathic pyramid. We throwing it up telepathically. We're like, girl, I see you. I'm throwing up my pyramid in my heart. You throwing up yours.
No, that's super dope. That is super dope. One of the things I was talking on my podcast with the Q. And we were just kind of having fun with it. But, I mean, it's, again, another observation I made, and no offense to anyone, but there seems to be a certain, what's the polite word? I don't have to be polite because I own the show.
I was say, this your show.
Exactly.
Talk your shit.
Exactly. So there are certain stereotypes with certain, with each fraternity that I've noticed, and each soror that I've noticed. Would you agree? And it could be good or bad.
Yeah, I do feel like each sorority and fraternity gets its own stereotype. Not always good. Some of them are bad, but I don't think that every woman in the sorority or every man in the fraternity necessarily follows that certain stereotype.
Right.
So
like Kappas, not all Kappas put grease in their head. I think most of them do.
You think Kaepernick is putting grease in that front thing he's got going on?
Man,
because he's a Kappa. He's got a little anti-Kappa swag going on right now. He's looking very burly.
Man, Kappas get the straight Vaseline to their head. Kappas are very meticulous with the non-hair on their face. Like, they are just primped and ready.
So Kappas be having like the gel down,
exactly
the Jadena kind of thing going on.
But some of the and here's the thing I like about Kappas. Every move a Kappa makes, they make it like they just the coolest motherfuckers on the planet.
They're really smooth. They're some smooth bros.
Yeah.
They're smooth.
Yeah. Exactly. What are some of the stereotypes that you would say would be associated with Deltas that you've noticed that you can laugh at?
That I can laugh. As far as the good ones, I've definitely heard women in high positions. I've heard that one before.
Yep.
Hard-working women. I've heard that before. I also get also heard that Delta, maybe one of the worst ones, are the more like manly. I would say manly looking women, but AKAs are the more feminine ones. They consider us like the harder ones, like the more girl, like want a whiskey nigga, like more burly acting ass women. But I don't know. I don't consider myself burly. I think I'm feminine.
Exactly. No, I mean it's terrible, but what we typically find, and this is not just a Delta thing, but just women in higher positions, sometimes they have to kind of, it's a shame, but sometimes they do have to kind of turn up maybe the bitchiness a little bit in that position to get, like for instance, I've noticed that women typically have to say things more than once or louder to get someone to do something that a man simply only needs to say in a calm tone. I hate that that's the case.
I think I can agree with that. And once we say things more than once or louder, you get that, oh, she got attitude. And, oh, she a bitch. And it's like, I have to repeat myself to you.
Exactly.
And that sucks ass, but...
Well, but, you know.
I know. I feel like I'm at this point in my life where it's kind of like I don't even really give a fuck about if I get she got an attitude or something. Well, I don't really give a fuck if you think I got an attitude or not. Like, just do what I say. If I'm above you, just do what I said. And keep it the fuck moving. I honestly don't care.
Exactly, because attitude or not, the end result needs to be that you handling what it is I gave you to handle.
Right. Just do your job, and I ain't got a good attitude with you. That's all that matters.
What was your major? What did you major in?
I majored in nursing. I have a bachelor's of science in nursing.
I have a really soft spot for nurses. I really do. Yes, I have a soft spot for y'all. You guys,
a soft spot for Deltas, a soft spot for nurses.
Look at you! You just covering all the bases.
Be on the good side.
Yeah, nurses are magic, man. My mom's a nurse. Nurses are awesome.
Really?
People. Yep.
Yeah, your mom's dope.
Yeah,
nursing is awesome. It's an amazing profession. It's amazing and it's trash at the same time. Like, it definitely has its trash moments, like we have to make those end of life decisions or anything like that. That's always not fun. But I mean, just saving lives and touching people's lives and taking care of people it's amazing. It's really amazing. I really am glad that I chose the profession I chose. Like, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm a nurse.
How
it's
long?
Stressful as hell, but it's good. I like it.
When did you decide that that's what you wanted to do?
I actually decided all throughout high school. When I was a freshman, I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a pediatrician. I want to take care of kids. I want to be a pediatrician, blah, blah, blah. So senior year of high school, they let us do this job battle. And I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. So here at Huntsville Hospital, if you had kind of like a desire to be in the medical field, they let you do a job shadow in Huntsville Hospital. But you couldn't necessarily be, like, I didn't get to shadow a doctor, I shadowed a nurse. Okay. And that woman was so intelligent. She was so smart. And she knew everything. The doctor would tell her to do something, and she would say, "Girl, we're not doing it that way. Look, I've been at this for 20 years. I know what to do. Like, he's a resident. He knew. I'm gonna tell you what we finna do." And she just touched so many people. Like, I was with her for only maybe 6 hours, and that woman, after I left the hospital, I was like, I want to be a nurse. Like, she was amazing. The way she just worked with everybody was just so caring, so smart. I was like, and this is less schooling. I don't have to go through 10 plus years of schooling to be a doctor when I can just be as effective as a nurse. So,
so at this point, how long have you been a nurse?
I graduated in 2012, so I've been a nurse for 3 years, a little bit more than 3 years. I worked down at UAB in Birmingham right after I graduated for the first couple of years on a neurosurgery unit. Mm-hmm. And that was really, really, really interesting. And now I'm doing what's called travel nursing, where I kind of do 13-week contracts, and I go to different hospitals where they need me and just kind of fill in for extra staff. And so I get to go, like, all over the country if I want, and wherever I can get a nursing license and go. So that freedom is pretty cool.
Do you watch medical shows like ER, House, and things like that?
I don't really. If it's already on, my favorite show of all time is Scrubs.
Scrubs is hilarious.
And actually, Scrubs is hilarious, and actually was pretty true to form as far as like the medical things, like the medical activities they did on there. Like, it was pretty true to form. Some medical shows you'll watch and you'll be like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
we don't do that. That's not how we got in the hospital. I don't know what y'all doing, but this ain't real. Like, and so that kind of takes you out of it when you know how it's supposed to be done, and then you watch it, and you know for the sake of drama they're going to take the most dramatic route. Like, yeah, somebody has a splinter and the surgeon's going to remove their whole hand just for the sake of drama. So it's kind of like, yeah, it kind of takes you out of it. But so I don't watch too many medical shows, but I do love Scrubs. That was my shit.
That was going to be my next question, because my mom has a hard time watching it, because it's like a lot of it, like you said, is just they get extra, like they put on.
Yeah, you get to watch it. You know, this is a tad bit dramatic. Like, I understand you want to keep people enthralled, and you know, being in a hospital is a very, you know, fast paced. Anything can happen in any moment kind of setting. But most of the time, you know, it's okay. You got the flu. We're finna get some antibiotics. Okay, you need surgery. You're gonna go to surgery. You're gonna come back. We're gonna send you home. Like, you know, it's not really as dramatic as TV makes it. So I can understand, you know, having to amp up the volume on it, but yeah. It's a little too much for me. You already know how it's supposed to go.
How did you handle your first death as a nurse?
Not very well. This was when I was down in Birmingham, and it was a patient that was a DNR, do not resuscitate. And you know, with those kind of patients, sometimes especially if they're on comfort care, you kind of prepare for them to die. You're like, okay, they're gonna die. But it actually wasn't my patient. I was charge nurse that night, so I was kind of helping another nurse along, and then their patient died, and then the family wasn't there, so we had to contact the family. And you know, you prepare for death, but you can't ever really prepare for death. You know, when it happens, you still kind of feel all those emotions and all that comes back on you, and so it was hard, but I can say I've had worse experiences with death as far as people who weren't at all prepared, or their family member was not a DNR. They did not expect their family member to die. Those kind of situations are always really kind of hectic, because when people aren't prepared at all, you get a lot of bickering, a lot of fighting, a lot of, I wanted it this way, or Mom's giving me this, or, you know, I was supposed to have this. And you really see the worst side of people when someone dies unexpectedly. Wow.
As a nurse, like I know you're providing the comfort and the care, and in a situation like what you just described, where it's unexpected and you see the bickering, are you expected to, or do you try to calm the situation, or do you just kind of back out of it completely because that's just out of your jurisdiction? Like what do they teach you?
The way I nurse, I will try to give people their time. If you're immediate family, you can be in the room. If you're not immediate family, you have to go. But if you're immediate family and you need to be in the room, you need to talk, we give you your time. You know, we're not going to rush you out just because your family member died. You can have your time with your family member. But I mean, if people start getting too wild and combative, I take myself out of the room and I will call the police or call the security. I'm not going to insert myself directly in the middle, because technically I can't say anything. All I can do is just provide for the patient, and the patient has passed along, so I can't really do or say much as far as the family goes.
Have you actually had to call police or call the security?
Oh, yeah, plenty of times.
Really?
I promise you, the worst comes out of people. I tell people this all the time. People really show their worst side when someone dies unexpectedly, when someone is hospitalized unexpectedly. People, I don't know if it's the worry, the fear, the, like, toppled with anxiety, but people, like, get crazy and do stuff they probably would never really normally do, just because they have so much emotion. Like, there's so much emotion going on right now. So people are kind of, like, already on edge, and couple that with somebody dying or somebody you love being hurt or sick, it can get crazy. It can get wild. So I've definitely had to call security a couple times, and I've definitely been called bitches and hoes, and you ain't doing this, and you ain't do this on my dad, and I've been blamed for deaths. And I mean, it's just something you kind of have to, I don't want to say take it, like, roll with the punches, but it's kind of something that I feel like when I first became a nurse, that was something that would really get me down. Like, I would be driving home. I started off on night shift, so I would be driving home the next day in tears, like, oh my gosh, I ruined these people's lives, or I would just really take a lot of stuff personally. But now that I've kind of gotten into the career, I know that that a lot of it is anxiety and a lot of it is fear. I'm just kind of like, I don't really take it as personally as much anymore. I'm kind of able to separate myself from it a little bit better. So,
have you gotten to a point where you're kind of numb to death?
Oh, not at all. No. I feel like if you're a nurse and you ever get to that point where you're numb to death, you need to retire. Like, that's not something that I would ever want to feel. I feel like you always need, because I feel like at that point, it's like, do you even care? Are you even caring anymore? And that's the hugest part of being a nurse, is caring for your patient, being a caring person. I feel like a lot of times when people complain about nurses, like, oh, my nurse was so mean, and my nurse was this, and my nurse was that, it's because they've probably been a nurse for 40 years, and they're probably way past the point of retirement. Like, they've gotten to that point where they're numb with death, and it's all monotonous, and they're just going through the motions, and, oh, this patient died, let me do this, and I'm just going to move it along. Like, I just never want to get to that point where it becomes monotonous. If it ever did, I would have to switch careers.
Have you gotten attached to a patient and then they died?
Yeah, I have, especially when I was on the neurosurgery unit. We had a lot of patients that were on the younger end, not so much, maybe like 30s, 40s, that would come in with like brain tumors or spinal tumors and would be terminal. And you see them pretty much every week because they come in for chemo treatment, or they come in and get a tumor resection, so they're in the hospital for a while. And so you kind of see them every shift, and you get to know them, and you know they're going to pass, like, they're terminal, but at the end of the day, like, I'm still a person of faith. Like, I still have faith, so it's kind of like, okay, I see you doing better. I'm praying for you. I know I want you to get better. I want this for you. And then to see them actually kind of lose the fight and pass, it's always really hard. So I've had a couple of patients that, you get attached to them, and you pray for them, and you want them to get better, and it doesn't always come out that way. But
does that sort of thing, like, keep you from wanting to get attached? Like, do you stop yourself from doing that now?
Actually, no, I don't. Because, like I said, I just never want this to be monotonous. I'm a very loving and caring person. That's not something I can really turn off. Like, once I get to know my patients, and like I said, I see them every week, I'm gonna get to know them. I'm gonna want to be a part of their life. I'm gonna want to sit and pray with them and talk to them and talk them through things and be there for them. And it's just naturally, I wouldn't even call it like an attachment, but it's more so like a sense of like caring. Like, I care for this person every week. This person's been here, and I've cared for them. I never want to lose that sense of caring, that feeling that, I want to matter to this person, and I want to make a change in their life if they have to spend their life in the hospital. So it's hard, but I feel like it comes with the job. Like I said, once it gets to that point where you're monotonous, I feel like you should just go ahead and throw in the towel. It's not for you anymore.
I think being a nurse kind of puts you in the unique position where you can kind of, as weird as it may sound, kind of be on the outside looking in as it relates to death. Mm-hmm. And I think that puts you at a certain advantage. What type of things have you learned just by being a nurse on how to deal with death, and not necessarily patients, but just death in general?
I think my biggest takeaway from death is that it affects everyone differently. Like, I can be, stoic for my patients and talk them through it, but if I lose a family member, I can't necessarily say I will react the same.
Right.
So it's just, death is so, like, everyone, like, I think as humans, we know eventually people are gonna die. Life is ultimate. You do eventually die. So it's like this, but when it comes time for someone you love to pass, it's just always too soon. Like even if my grandmother was 103 when she passed, I would just it's too soon. She just needed one more day.
Right.
I just feel like it's never. We as humans, especially if you really really love someone, it's never a right time for someone to pass. So it's just so death is so tricky. You just have to be there for people, and everyone deals with death differently, and you just kind of have to gauge how is this family going to deal with this death. Oh, they're going to be a crying family and a praying family. I'm going to go in and pray with them. This family's going to be a acting out and yelling and throwing things. Family want to stay. I'm going to pull myself back. It's kind of something you learn, and just try to get in where you fit. I guess get in where you fit in. I guess it's a weird way to put it, but
have you witnessed any miracles?
I witness miracles every day, honestly. I really do. And even if it's just something small, like somebody comes in with uncontrolled diabetes and they get to leave the hospital the next day and they're controlled. Like, it's just even little small miracles like that. But there was this one woman back when I worked at the neurosurgery unit, and she had a brain tumor. And I remember we all thought she was going to pass. Like, she was a DNR, she was comfort care. We were like, okay, she's going to go any minute. And we were just trying to help her make it through the night. We just were like, at this point, we just don't want her to die on us. Like, we want to try to help her make it through the night so she can get there in the morning. So we had her sitting straight up. We had blowing a lot of oxygen on her, just trying to keep her, just alive till her family came back in the morning. Mm-hmm. And that woman lived through the night, and she went to rehab. She lived through the night. She lived through the next day, lived the next week, was discharged from the hospital, went to rehab, and I never saw her back. So I don't know if she passed in rehab or if she did better in rehab and was still living, but she survived through that night, and she survived on, because we thought definitely she was going to go that night, and she held on.
That's amazing. I guess it just kind of just goes to show, no matter the education, no matter the skill, no matter what you learn, you just never really know.
You never know. Like I said, I'm still a person of faith, and mm-hmm. I always, the medical diagnosis. Somebody has this type of cancer, they're supposed to live 3 to 6 months. Somebody has this type of cancer, they're supposed to live a year. Or somebody has this medical process going on, they're supposed to live this long. But just not finite to me. I just feel like there's, with my faith, like, I just feel like miracles can happen, and I like to be a witness to it. So I try to stay on the bright side of things.
All right, cool. Let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk about your show. One-third member of the SMS Podcast, which I am a huge fan of. I love you all's show. No problem. Let's talk about your role and what your role is on the show, and kind of give us some backgrounds on the show and your perspectives of how things came together.
Well, I would like to say that I am the author and the singer of the Black Women in History theme song.
I love that. I love it.
That is my baby.
I love it.
With that on the spot. Like, I really got mad. Like, I'm really just singing like one line over and over again. I'm proud of my shit.
But listen. On Three Little Birds, Bob Marley, he's only saying that line. The whole 3 verses.
Right.
He's only and it's a classic.
And it's a classic. I think this week in Black Women's History I don't know if it's not Three Little Birds, but it's pretty good. It's
kind of powerful because it's Black women in history. It's not 3 random ass birds.
It's not
on a doorstep.
It's a bit jingly. It's got a nice beat. I got to put some real music behind it one day. But
I had said I was going to try to make y'all some.
Get on that, Corey. You get on that. We're open to suggestions.
This week in Black Women History. Then you go up a little bit. This week in Black Women History.
I like it.
Oh man. So yeah, so you're the author of that. What else?
I am.
What else is your role on the show? From your perspective.
From my perspective, we always say this, and it's very true. We're all Beyonce. we all work on the show as three women working together. Mm-hmm. But it's just so funny how they came together. Like, we were just all on Twitter talking. I think I tweeted something about I need to get a podcast so I can get the hoes. Podcast brings all the hoes, or something so ridiculous like that. And Mo and Shoes were just kind of like, no, seriously, like I want to do a podcast. I don't hear many podcasts with three black men voices. I feel like they're lame for us, and so we made it happen. We all exchanged numbers and got together, and now we have our own little baby, our own podcast, and I'm so proud of every week. Every 2 weeks now when we do a show, I'm just amazed by how creative we are together and how well we work together, how like awesome the show when it comes out. It just amazes me every week. I'm like, how do we do this? We're too fucking awesome. We're too great. We gotta chill. We gotta chill. We do too much.
Right. It's an amazing show. And it's like what I was when Mo was on the show. I was telling her some of the observations that I made about the show, and I feel like each one of you has had what I call like a breakout episode, an episode that really gave you an opportunity to put your personality on display. Okay. And you're no different. I think, and if you don't agree, that's fine. Just correct me if I'm wrong. I think yours was episode 5 when you guys were talking about the friend zone. I felt like that. I felt like that episode was like, that's Shayla's all day. This is hers. Run with it, and you did. Like I think it really gave your listeners an opportunity to kind of really dive into and get into Shayla. Now, don't get me wrong. You're always live. Like that's the comment I made about you when Mo was on the show. Like you are live, and I love it.
I think I'm the comedic relief of the podcast.
You know what? I would say that's accurate.
That's my lane. I've always been a very my family is hilarious. My nephew is probably the funniest kid I've ever met in life. So I've always like that little boy is so funny. So I've always been around people who just love to laugh, love to joke. Like, we roast each other daily. Like, so I just kind of take that into everything. Like, I'm just I'm gonna make a joke out of something. Like, I'm gonna find a joke somewhere. So, but yeah, like episode 5, I like that. I think I did, because I did have a varying view on the friend zone on that one. So I do think I got to showcase my opinion on that one a little bit. So.
What's the thing that you may have learned the most recently as you became a podcaster? What sticks out to you?
The thing that I learned the most is probably that podcasting is really hard.
Yes.
It's not something you can just, like, when you come up with the idea for your show, it's not something that you can just be like, oh, yeah, we got an idea, and we're just gonna record an hour, and we're
It's
have a perfect product.
So much that goes into it.
There's been so many times where me, Mo, and you have been on that computer trying to record for 4 or 5 hours at a time, trying to just get enough material that sounds good and it's not choppy, and we're not laughing, and we actually on topic, and so it's definitely tough. It's definitely something that you have to kind of stick with, because when you get in there, you're kind of like, I'm just gonna have a podcast and it's gonna be great, but once you get in there, you get in the trenches, like, okay, this is a little tough. This is going to take some creativity and some patience and some work and some prayer and a little bit of everything. So
listen, it's like, and imagine this, right? So I started out saying, all right, I want to do a weekly show, and for the most part, I've kept up. I've taken a couple weeks off here and there, but I do the show every week. It's doubly hard because I got to find somebody to interview. 2. I have to do my own editing and things like that.
Right, that's really the tough part, and there's only one of you.
Exactly.
You don't have anyone to split this up with.
Right, and then sometimes I think, all right, there's probably somebody I could, but then another part is like, you know what? Nah, I'd rather do it myself, kind of thing.
Right.
But
this your shit.
Exactly, this is my shit. You're not gonna be able to edit the way I'm gonna edit. So I might as well just do it myself.
Definitely.
Yeah. But again, like I said, I love the show. Another question. Who runs the show's Twitter account? The Twitter is at SMS Pod. Who runs it? Is it one or all three of you?
SMS Pod. We all have the login. We all run it.
Okay.
We all tweet from it.
Has anybody ever tweeted from it and you looked at it like, why did she tweet that? The fuck is she thinking?
Not really. We have a group message too, so we most of the time run it by each other. Like, I'm about to tweet this from the podcast, and we usually run it by each other. It was one time Mo tweeted something. I think it was when we did the podcast with Tom Sobey, and she tweeted some kind of future lyric, and she even went back in the Twitter and tweeted, "I hope the ladies don't get mad at my tweet," and then signed it. Mo like, "Sorry, y'all." But even that tweet is fine. I was like dying laughing. So.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
She started off like, "Sorry, I'm bad, y'all."
Oh man.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's one of those things that just kind of shows the it's a testament to the type of fun that you all have. You got the synergy amongst you three. Like as the way it came together, it sounded like it could have just been completely random, but and for it to come together, you guys synergy to show in that sort of amount of time, I think that means something. Like you guys really have magic right here.
Like it's crazy. We try our best not to toot our own horns, but there's plenty of times when we've been recording and we're just like, guys, this is good. Like this is really good. Our chemistry is good right now. We're bouncing ideas off each other. The conversation is flowing. This is really dope. Yeah, we on fire, y'all. Flame emojis everywhere, all over the place. Like too many flame emojis. So yeah, you gotta pat yourself on the back sometime. And I think we have a really, really dope product. And I tell the ladies that all the time that our show is dope. Like it's good, and it's okay to pat yourself on the back sometimes and say, I thought of this, I had this idea, I brought it to fruition, and it's good. So it's definitely
something worth being proud of. Like I can tell the work you guys put into it. Where do you see the show? What's the long-term idea that you guys have for the show? Things you guys want to do? I mean, you don't have to let out any secrets, but just give us something.
We've just really started incorporating guests. We just had our 10th episode.
All right.
No.
Deca.
Double digits. I was so crunk. I was like, double digits. We got you. So, I don't know. We're just gonna go with the flow and see how it goes. We don't have a huge end game like, oh, we want this to become, we want to do this and want to do that, because we're in two different cities, so it's kind of like we just want to kind of continue making a dope product and just kind of see where it goes and see what we can do when we all come together. Maybe start doing some YouTube vids or something, but I don't want to put that out there like that's what we're doing next week. So nobody expect that next week, but that it's open. It's up in the air, but we definitely want to continue making a really dope podcast and having good conversations and making sure that stays solid and our end game is open.
Well, I hope the SMS Podcast and the OTAP show continue to have mad collaborations.
I hope so too. I think it will. I see this coming. You're like our biggest cheerleader, and I love it.
Yeah.
I need to just make a mini Corey and just keep it in my back pocket and to pull it out and be like, your podcast is dope, and then put it back in my pocket. Like whenever I'm feeling bad, just pull you out and be like, you're a really good person, and put you back in my
You better do that shit. You better do that shit. I am with it. I am
just
with
need that sometimes. Somebody tell you dope sometimes.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, because there comes points where you just I don't know, you just need something to break up that monotony, I guess. Or
definitely.
And I think for me it's doubly hard because I'm an introvert. So there are times when I don't feel like dealing with people. And my show is about getting to know other people.
So that's super. That's like extra good. Yeah. It's really great. But I'm an extrovert, but I feel like I've always been kind of shy, and I've always been. I was telling the girls before we started the podcast, I've always been very insecure about my voice. I feel like I'm more country.
Let me tell you something. Country is awesome, and don't let anybody tell you different.
So I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm country. So just work with me. When I was little, my mom used to always threaten to put me in speech classes because I talked so fast because I was so shy. Like I wanted to just go ahead and say what I needed to say and get it over with. So she was like, you need to slow down when you speak. So I've always just kind of been very wary of how I talk and slowing down my speech because I used to talk a mile a minute. I used to go so fast just because I just wanted to get out and say what I had to say and quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to hurry up and go back to being quiet. I get you. Let's talk about you moving to Dallas.
Okay.
And so when did you do that?
I did that October of last year, so it's been a little over a year now.
Really?
Yeah. My Dallas anniversary. I moved with, like I said, I'm a travel nurse, so I moved for an assignment there, a work assignment, and that was my first travel assignment. So I didn't know anyone. Like I said, I'm a bit of an extrovert, but I'm still kind of shy. So I was like, well, I'm not going to start meeting people and doing things. I'm not in the house. And so I met some really, really cool people out there. And before I knew it, it had been a year, and I was still there, and I'm still there, and I loved it. And I'll probably continue to be there because I really like it there. Dallas is dope. I like Dallas.
Dallas is cool. I have an ex that lives in Dallas. She's cool. Yeah, I mean,
so good ex or bad ex?
You know what? She's a good ex.
I'm putting you on a hot seat. Good ex or bad ex?
She's a good ex. She's a good ex. And I don't have any problem saying that. I mean, okay. obviously we're not together, and we're exes for reasons. But she's, I can still consider her a friend. She's someone if I know that if I was down and I need somebody to talk to, I could call her no problem. We actually, I was in Dallas for work last July, and we hung out. So Dallas is cool. One thing I noticed about Dallas is there are tons of banks. Like there are businesses that are banks that I had no idea were banks.
Lots of things I've never heard of. It was like the Bank of Dallas, the Bank of this street. I
was like, that ain't even a bank.
I got a lot of damn banks. Make that much fucking money. Damn.
I was like, man, get out of here. You putting on this really ain't even a bank, man. Get out of here.
Y'all tripping.
Yeah, let me see y'all.
Ain't no money in there. Ain't no money
in there. Let me see your.
Where the debit card?
Let me see your debit card.
I never really noticed that until you said it. But
there's a bank on every corner. It's banks on corners named after the corner that is on.
People in Dallas got money. Apparently, they got money.
Yeah.
But I love Dallas. It's nice. It's nice, and I met some really, really cool people there. So,
what was it like when you first met Mo?
It was actually me and Mo vibed really well when we first met. Actually, like I said, when I moved, I didn't really know anyone, so I never really was huge on Twitter. Like I had Twitter, but I didn't really tweet much, and I still do this now. I'll tweet, and then I'll go on hiatus where I don't really tweet that much, and then I'll get back on there and do a whole string of tweets and be a terrorist and get on folks' nerves, and then I hop back off, and it's like, what's that? I'm back. I mean, y'all mentioned again. I go. So I hopped on Twitter trying to see maybe if I could meet some more people, find some people in Dallas, and I knew Shuby from Birmingham, and I saw her tweeting Mo a lot, and I was like, oh, okay, this girl seems nice. So I followed her, and then we started tweeting about the podcast stuff, and I think we tweeted about a Juicy J concert or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's dope. I was like, I'm going, and she was like, she was going, and I was like, oh, relevant. Let's go together. Let's go together. So our first encounter was a Juicy J concert, and it was dope. Like, we met up, we vibed. It was cool. I don't know if she wants me to tell this, but, we got high and we went to the Juicy J concert.
Oh.
It was lit. I might have to call her.
I wish I would have noticed the last episode when I had her get reckless.
I might have to call her before we put that part in there. Are you okay with me saying we got high on the podcast?
Well, you ain't really talking about her. You kind of talking about you.
I'm talking about me.
You talking about you.
But that's the only way to enjoy a Juicy J concert. Like, you can't just be in a Juicy J concert, just sober. You gotta be turned up. And Juicy J was on one leg. He was on crutches. And my man was turned up. He was all around the stage on one leg. And I was like, this is big. This is cool. This is pretty dope.
And so, a little off subject, I will say this as it relates to marijuana. Now, I don't smoke. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with it. Period. Because it's everything that I've seen. I've not seen one scientific report. I've not seen one piece of evidence that suggests that there are harmful properties in marijuana. It only promotes healing. Now,
honestly, I'm a huge advocate for medical marijuana, and I don't want this to be portrayed as I just smoke pot all the time. Like, that's not something I do on a daily basis. I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it. Clearly, I have smoked pot before, but you know, there are people who have terminal illnesses who testify to the fact that when they smoke marijuana, it helps with their pain, it helps ease their anxiety, and it's a lot easier on your body than taking 10 oxycodone a day and taking 2 milligrams of Ativan a day to ease your anxiety and taking all this medicine and you're doing who knows what to your kidneys or to your liver when you can just smoke damn blunt and you good. You good for the whole day. So, and you chilled out. So it's a fact.
I had my first run-in. I was prescribed Vicodin. Right? Oh Lord. I took one pill of that Vicodin. It was when I was living in Los Angeles. I had a minor surgery on my foot. I took one pill of this Vicodin and sat on the floor and fell asleep. And I felt like I was in the most comfortable bed under the covers. When I woke up that next day, I took that shit back to the doctor and told him, no, give me something else because I know why people get addicted to this shit, and you ain't finna get me.
You ain't finna give me color, bro. Give me some ibuprofen.
I was like,
give
man.
me some Tylenol. I'm not about to take this shit. That's how I am with pain medicine, too. The strongest pain medicine I've ever had to take was I had some like dental work done and they gave me Tylenol with codeine. That's the strongest pain medicine I've ever taken. And I took that Tylenol with codeine and I was so out of it. It's not even like I wasn't in pain. I was just kind of like, it's just weird. Like, it's not even the same high you get with marijuana. It's just kind of like weird. Like, you just feel out of it. You just feel like crap. Like, you just want to lay down all day and not do anything. And so I took those, and like you did, I took those too, and then I poured those mugs down the toilet and flushed those mugs. I was like, I'm not taking any more of this. And,
the devil is a lie.
The devil is a strong, smooth lie, because I'm not about to get caught with this shit. And it was just Tylenol with codeine, but I was like, give me some ibuprofen. That worked just fine for me.
Exactly.
And I was done with it, But yeah, like I said, I'm a huge advocate for medical marijuana. Whatever helps people in pain to not be in pain, I'm for.
I want to ask you about your Twitter name, and this maybe this is the nerd in me coming out. Okay. If not, so your Twitter name is Matisse's Pieces. Mm-hmm. Are you an artist, or do you have an appreciation for Henry Matisse?
I do have a bit of an appreciation for Henry Matisse, just because my middle name is Matisse. Okay, all right. So it's more of that's your middle name as opposed to it being the artist. I always joke with my mom about this. She had me kind of young. She had me when she was 18, so I always joke with her that she was learning about Henry Matisse in her class before I was born. And she was like, "Oh, this name's dope. I'm gonna get it to my daughter. Put her name her Matisse."
That's dope. Dope. I'm definitely going to take about. I'm probably going to take about 93% of credit for saying that. Yeah, my assumption was right.
Yeah, you can. I'll let you take that.
I can have the 93%.
Take that. Yeah, you have it. You can have it.
All right, cool. So with your mom, let's talk about your family. You grew up in a large family?
Pretty large. Let's say my papa was a bit of a Rolling Stone.
Mine was too.
Hello, that seems to be the theme for everyone's family these days. Yeah. So I was the oldest of 7. I have 6 little brothers. Mm-hmm. My oldest little brother is 20. My youngest little brothers are 5-year-old twins.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so we're all over the spectrum. So yeah, I was just always around boys growing up. With 6 brothers, you can't help but be around boys all the time.
So that it also really made me and my mom super close. It was kind of us against a house of boys. So my mom is like my best friend. Like we are super duper close, and she's still kind of adjusting to me being in Dallas. She's my mom, so she's going to be supportive and go wherever makes you happy and whatever makes you happy. I want you to do whatever makes you happy, but I hear her mumbling on the other end. Come back to Huntsville.
That's how my mom was when I moved from Atlanta to LA.
Yeah. So how long were you in LA? I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
I lived in LA for almost 4 years.
Oh,
yeah,
did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it was a lot of fun. LA is, LA. Somebody's gonna kill me for saying this. For the longest time, LA was like a second home. For the longest time, I couldn't see if I felt like if I was gonna live anywhere else, it would have been Los Angeles.
Right.
LA has kind of moved to number 2 on that list now, and I have not. This is the first time I'm saying this anywhere that's happened. Because someone asked me this maybe a year ago, and they was like, do you like LA better or do you like Chicago better? And I was like, fuck.
They're like polar opposites, no?
Well,
you think?
You know what? Chicago is probably more grittier, and I mean that in a good way. Chicago is grittier. The food is amazing. It's a real blue collar town. People aren't necessarily afraid to get their hands dirty. Is what I mean by gritty in terms of work and things like that. LA, while it's awesome, I love it. And they certainly do have their gritty parts of town. I think overall, it's in comparison to Chicago, it's probably a little more superficial. Now, Chicago certainly has probably the most elaborate public transportation system.
Oh yeah,
them in Chicago are neck and neck. But yeah, so they're kind of now. L.A. and New York are polar opposites.
You think so?
Yeah,
I've been to Chicago and I've been to New York. I've never been to LA, so I would just think more so like the cold weather of Chicago versus warm, sunny weather of LA.
But
I'm thinking what polar opposites.
What's super cool is LA has pretty cold winters.
Really?
Yeah. So at night, I would take the train home. Well, I take the train to the bus, and I take the bus home before I got a car. And so I was out there. I was in a t-shirt. I was like, man, it's L.A., man. Like, I'm good. Like, palm trees. You know what I mean?
I'm Gucci. I don't need no coat.
Right. Coat. I mean, it don't get cold. There's palm trees out here. Like, and they living. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that night, I was sitting there, and I was standing around. I was like, yo. I was like, okay, maybe it's only going to be cold for like 5 minutes. Maybe this is the wind. Fuck no. It was
so much denial.
Exactly. It was, and I looked at the weather. I was looking at the weather there and what it was in Atlanta, and it was actually colder there around that time than what it was in Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta was just having a warmer summer or a warmer winter. I don't know, but yeah, it gets pretty cold out there. It definitely get cold.
Ah, I didn't think that. I thought it was sunny all the time.
See, you would think that. You would definitely think that, but no, it actually gets pretty cold. Yeah.
It gets cold in Dallas, but it was cold when I was there during the winter last year. I haven't experienced the winter yet this year, but during the winter last year, it was cold for like 2 good weeks, and it was back to kind of like 50s. It was like 2 weeks of like partial fake snow with a little bit of ice, rain going on. And no one can drive in Dallas. I love Dallas, but no one can fucking drive. I don't understand what the point is, but no one can drive in Dallas. And so it was just wrecks everywhere. I remember I was trying to go somewhere, and I looked at my Google Maps, and it was going to take me like an hour to get somewhere that usually took me 20 minutes to get up the street because there was like 15 wrecks on the highway just from that little bit of ice and a little bit of rain coming. So it is... The weather there is kind of kooky, but I don't remember getting too cold.
That's cool. So growing in a house with six brothers, and it's basically just you and your mom versus dude. This kind of puts you in a unique position to kind of just observe males.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the what's one of the most fascinating observations that you've made? It could be good or bad.
One of the most fascinating things I made with my brothers are they are super protective, even though they're younger than me. I'm 25, so my middle brother is 20, so I'm 5 years older than him. Even though they're younger than me, they are still very, very protective of me. Very, very protective of each other. They used to fight each other like cats and dogs. Like when we were in the house, they used to go at like wrestling all the time, fighting, arguing. I mean, I used to constantly be sticking up for them. I remember one time because in my household, just two of my two full brothers live with me. And they just used to bicker all the time, just fight, argue, fight back and forth. And then one time they got in a fight and the older one pushed the younger one into the wall and put like a hole in the wall. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I like tried to, being the big sister that I am, I tried to patch the wall up with some newspaper before my mama got back. We were all like, nobody go tell. Mama don't see it. We all like, nobody saying it. Nobody snitching. And then she went about a good day before she even noticed, like, why is there a newspaper on my wall right here? What is this? And then we all got in trouble for lying. But, they're very, very protective. But then they're also fight all the time. Being protective, so it's kind of weird.
in having the opportunity to observe them, what's something that you learn, by watching them about males in general that kind of help you in dealing with the opposite sex?
I just learned to always be upfront. I can't beat around the bush with my brothers. They don't take context clues very well. They don't take hints very well.
Amen. We when it comes, if you gonna do a hint, man, you might as well go take that shit and say it to the wall.
I hear my brothers all day, like, man, trash really do need to be taken out. Man, somebody need to get that trash out. That trash, man. I gotta take that trash out. They'll just be sitting there playing the game, like, oh, she ain't talking to me. I'll be like, London, take out the trash. And he's like, okay.
Do you know what we're thinking? Like in situations like that, we're not thinking, damn, maybe the trash is overflowing. We thinking, why the fuck does she keep talking about some damn trash?
Yo, I can say that. They do not pay any attention to me. Like I just be, dang, the trash need to be taken out. I can just see them like getting annoyed with me. Like, will she shut up? Is she take the trash out or not? She keep talking about this damn trash. So yeah, I definitely learned you just gotta come out and say what you want, say what you mean, and deal with the consequences of whatever they want to go off of something. But other than that, you just gotta come out and be upfront, because men, from my experience, men do not take hints very well.
No, we don't. We don't, and I don't understand why women keep trying to do that. But we don't, and well, I'll take that back, because on another episode, it was actually the episode with Lo. We talked about that and why women kind of do that. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but it was nice to have been giving an understanding and a certain perspective for that. But no, we don't. I mean, just tell us straight out what you want us to do,
right?
And we'll be more than happy to do it. But I don't really got time to kind of find my decoder ring to understand. Just
tell them straight up. I also learned that men are not as messy as people make them out to be. Like, men are so messy and so dirty. Like, my brother's room used to always be cleaner than
Thank you. Oh man.
But I'm just a very. I mean, I'm a clean person, but I'm also a very organized, cluttered type of person. Like, I know where my shit is. Don't come in my room touching nothing. Don't come in my house touching nothing. It may look disorganized to you, but it's organized to me. So please do not touch it. I've always just been that kind of person. But my brother is very anal. All his shoes go on his shoe rack. All his clothes are hung with his hangers facing to the left. His TV is exactly 30 degrees facing the north sun. Like, he's just very anal. And so I definitely learned that.
It's so frustrating when men are made out to, like, it's almost comes across as like we're subhuman. Like,
damn.
No, like, seriously. Like, I mean, like, I've had women come to my home and be super surprised that I have furniture. Oh, you got
some
furniture.
Some men struggle with that though.
No, I mean I got you, but and here's the one. Oh, you cook? Like they go in and see, and I'm just like, yeah, like I kind of I gotta eat. You know what I mean? Or I'll get some condescending shit. Like if I cook them something, I'll get some condescending shit. Like, who taught you how to cook this? Where you learn? Yo, like, first of all, does it fucking matter?
I watch the Cooking Network. What the fuck? I'll be all on Ray. I know what you be doing.
I'll be like, man, like, and I'll be really wanting to be like, all right, let me just take your plate. It's time for you to go.
You don't get any of my delicious spaghetti. None for you. Get out.
Right,
but no, actually, I cannot disagree with that one. It is surprising when a man can cook. I don't know why. I guess mostly because men are always asking us, can you cook? I need a woman that can cook. And can you cook? And it's just like, do you cook?
Well, the thing
you
is,
asking me, do you?
The thing is this, right? I mean, if let's say, and I'm playing devil's advocate. Let's say my requirement is that a woman know how to cook. All right, that's not me, and I can't speak for anybody else. That's not me saying I need you to cook because I don't. Because clearly, let's say I don't cook, I'm pretty sure I found a way to make do. Right.
Right.
But for me, it has more of it being cooking is a basic survival skill, like a basic survival. If we were to have kids, they can't cook for themselves. I need to know that, they're going to be a little more than McDonald's you sending them.
They need a little bit more than Burger King every day.
Yeah, so, and not don't be giving them no little TV dinners either. All that
I was going to say, I can agree with that, but in the same aspect, with the advancement of technology, you can take home ready-made meals.
Oh yeah,
and they are very delicious.
Yeah. which is super cool. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show and saying that piece, because yes, for the record, we are not all sloppy and dirty and all of that. Some of us
I can attest to that. My brother is way cleaner. Well, my middle brother, my youngest brother, he is a pigsty. But my middle brother, he is, like I said, he's very clean. So definitely, not all men are dirty.
That's right. All cleanliness matters.
Not all of y'all struggling. I guess, child.
Let me ask you this question. This is something I usually ask on every episode. I haven't asked it the last couple, but where do people get you fucked up?
Oh, that's a good one. Where do people get me fucked up? Usually people don't get me fucked up, and I think it's because I'm such a nice person. And I'm such a friendly person, and I've never met a stranger. Any person I meet, I treat them just like I would treat my friend that I've known for 10 years. I never met a stranger. So people usually don't get me fucked up, but where they will get me fucked up is if they kind of try to run over me with that niceness and just assume that I'm not gonna go the fuck off on them just because I'm so nice. So there's been few people who have really got me fucked up to the point, I've been in few fights in my life. I've been in very few verbal altercations in my life, but the ones I have been in, it has definitely been because somebody took my kindness for weakness and got me very fucked up. And it's like, oh, now you done crossed the line, bitch. We got to go at it.
What matters to you most?
What matters to me most? Definitely my family. My family is very important to me. Like I said earlier, my family are some of the funniest people I've ever met. They're hilarious, they're caring, and I feel like the person I am today was definitely molded by the way I was brought up. The family unit that I experienced. It wasn't perfect, clear. Like I said, my papa was Rolling Stone, and I have 2 full brothers and 4 brothers that are half brothers, and it wasn't perfect, but it definitely was a loving family. I never went without feeling loved. So they're definitely important to me. I will give anyone in my family the shirt off my back, even if they can't fit it. So they're really important to me.
Can you really sing, or is that just you messing around?
Well, I can hold a tune.
I'll say that. I used to sing in the choir back, way back in the day, at church. And like I said, I can hold a tune. I can stay on key, but I'm no Beyonce by any means. So
can you want to sing for me? You want to sing with me? Can we do a duet?
Oh Lord.
Let's do a duet. Let's do the.
Now you finna put me on spot. Like I can stay.
I'm gonna sing with you because I can't sing at all. Period.
Corey's like, let's sing. And I'm like, sound like Ben Carson wife on here.
It can't sound no worse than me.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Sing with me.
Let's sing. Let's sing.
Let's do. All right. Yeah. Okay. Since y'all all three Beyonce, let's do Beyonce.
Let's do some Beyonce. What are you gonna sing?
Let's do Love on Top.
Oh, damn, you picked the song with the highest keys.
That is my shit. Love on Top is my shit.
Oh my gosh, you picked the song with the highest keys.
Yeah. Let's do parts of the first verse. You sing it with me.
Okay.
You ready? So you get. Let me see how you're gonna start off. Let me see if you're gonna fuck up.
Let's see. Are we just starting off on the verse? I don't know if I know.
No, we starting off from the beginning of the song.
I don't know if I know Love on Top by heart.
All right, well we'll just go till you fuck up.
Start.
So it start off with.
I can see.
See you blew it. You blew it. That's not where it start. That's not where it start.
Where does it start?
She say ba 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 da ba 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 da.
Are we starting with that?
Yeah, that's part of the song.
No, I'm ready. Let's go.
You ready? All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Ba 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 da ba 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 da. All right. See, we gotta get on key.
Okay.
All right. So do you know the second verse?
Wait. I thought we were singing the first verse.
Well, you were all.
We sing the bump, but I can. I hear it in my head.
All right, so I'll do that.
Honey.
I'll do that, and then you come in with the verse, cause we got to be okay.
I don't know the whole thing. I know.
I will pick up where you.
I'm just gonna sing my version. I don't know all the words.
Let's do it then. Let's do it. You ready?
Yeah.
Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da. Bring the beat in.
Honey.
I can see the stars all the way from here. Can't you see the glow on the window pane?
I can see the sun whenever you're near.
Every time you touch me, I just melt away. Everybody's asking me while I'm smiling up from ear to ear.
But I know
it's gonna take a little work.
You know that's really your shit.
This is my shit.
I respect it. You know I love Beyonce.
Nothing's perfect, but it's worth it after fighting through my tears. Finally, you put me first. Baby, it's you. You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the... Wait a minute. What did she say? Yeah, you're the one I see. Come on, baby, it's you. Yo, no, that is the part. That is the part. That is the part right there. Come on, baby, it's you.
Beyonce is awesome. She's amazing. You can always... You always know a good singer when it's hard to sing their song. That's what I always tell people. When it's really hard to stay on key with them, you're like, oh my God, this is a really good singer.
Hey, we pissed off so many people in the Beehive with that.
Hey, that's paying homage. Okay, we tried. Beyonce Giselle knows Carter would be proud.
Exactly. Who is welcome on the OTAP show if she happens to be a listener, if someone that's listening happens to knows her.
She is always welcome on SMS Podcast.
Absolutely.
She can have my spot. It could be SMB Podcast. I would gladly bow down.
Oh man, we really just sang a duet. That was fun.
We did. That's kind of dope though. Yeah. I mean, I might be a little off key, but it doesn't matter.
No. It's cool because it's not that you were off key. You were creating the key.
I created my own key.
Exactly. Because see, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Like, something there.
In life, listen, you can't always sing the key that somebody else tell you to sing.
No. You gotta create your own key.
Exactly.
That's how Carrie Hilson got hot.
Yo, speaking of that, so Drake, right?
So
Drake in Hotline.
You talking about Future?
No.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Future.
We talking about people that when they rap, they don't sound like they chewing on mud. We talking about him.
Wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
I am definitely Future hot.
That's fine and all.
On?
But he rap like this. But
it doesn't matter though. He raps like on beat though, and it's still hot.
So in Hotline Bling, you saw the video.
I have.
Was Drake serious?
I think so. I like it. I haven't always been here for Drake. I was here for Drake with Thank Me Later. But then once he got into the like singing nigga Drake aspect, I kind of fell off. I'm talking about his New Jack Swing dancing. No, I'm getting there. So like I've never really been like I kind of fell off, but like recently I feel like he's really coming to himself, and I feel like that the Hotline Bling video was his like culmination of him coming into himself. He was dancing like he was like in the shower. The song was on. That
is so accurate. I never thought about that.
When the Hotline Bling.
He was dancing like there was no camera in the room.
He was, and I appreciate it.
And his shit just came on.
And he really was. He hit the pancake in one moment. You remember the pancake dance?
Yeah.
He hit that shit. You from the South? He hit that shit. Yeah. I was like, I see you, Drake. Doing a little bachata, doing a little pancake.
Maybe he was serious because every time I look, I've only looked at it twice because the song is trash. But hey, listen. I mean,
getting out of control.
There's certainly
Corey,
been.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
But no, seriously. Like I was like, maybe he was just having fun. But you're right. Maybe he was dead ass serious.
I think he was dead ass serious, and honestly, everything he has done from the moment he ethered Meek Mill has only made Meek Mill look worse. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Meek Mill got dragged by a nigga that hit a pancake in a video in 2015. Like it's kind of like you can't win. Like you just gotta like bow gracefully and just go on and try to make another hot song, another hot album, and just hope you can recover from the Drake attack.
Exactly.
But I really liked the video, and it was dope. You know what has been coming out like some really dope videos lately that I just saw before we got on the phone? Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah.
I saw the video for These Walls.
I hadn't seen that one yet, but he has been coming out with some dope videos.
It's dope. It's like 8 minutes long, so you're gonna have to take out some time. You're gonna have to have nothing to do for about 10 minutes because to count commercials. But it's really dope. Like I like the lane he's in right now. I feel like he gets a lot of flack. People are like, oh man, he whack and he Black Panther Kendrick and he just trying to be all this and be all that. But I like Kendrick. I like the lane he's made for himself.
Kendrick is creating his own key.
He is. Opposite of Carrie Hilson, he's creating a good key.
That's the second Carrie Hilson joke, all right?
I really don't. I'm not a Carrie Hilson fan. Not that anyone in 2015 is.
Clearly. Shayla, this was fun. This was fun. I knew we were going to have fun on this show. I told Mona, I said, yo, me and Shayla, we going to have fun. We having fun.
This is going to be fun. This was fun.
This is fun.
Are we done, or you have any more questions for me?
Well, I don't have any more questions, but I do want you to plug your show, plug anything you have going on, where they can reach you on the show, any and all of that.
Oh, okay. Well, our show, SMS Podcast, comes out every other Tuesday. We have an episode coming out this upcoming Tuesday. It's going to be great. So you can hear us anywhere podcasts are. We're on iTunes, SMS Podcast. We're on SoundCloud, SMS Podcast, and we're on Stitcher. And we also have a Twitter page at SMS Pod, and you can follow me on Twitter at Matisses Pieces, MATISSES Pieces. Yeah, I mean to spell pieces. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, but my tweet's trash, so.
No, tweets are pretty awesome.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So yeah, and you can hear me talk trash about this NBA season. I'm excited about NBA coming back. That's my shit. I can't wait. The excitement.
Who's your team?
I'm a huge fan of the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think we're gonna do much this year. I think we're gonna still be kind of like middle to end of the West. You know, we'll probably get bounced in like the first or second round in the playoffs.
The Grizz are not a bad team. They're not a bad team.
I love them. Grit and grind. I love those guys. I became a Grizzlies fan. That was actually the first NBA game I ever went to was when the Grizzlies played the Clippers. First round of the playoffs, I think it was 2013. Mm-hmm. And we went to Memphis. We went to the game, and it was amazing. And their arena was live as fuck. And there was a little kid behind me. He was like 8, and he was so live. And he kept calling the Clippers the floppers. And he was like, "Ball, LA floppers!" And before I knew it, I was like with him at the end of the game, like, "Yeah, both these niggas, LA floppers." And then I was a Grizzlies fan. That's how it happened. So. Cool. I love basketball, and I'm excited that basketball is here because I'm not a huge NFL fan, but I always get dragged for not having an NFL team.
Well, you don't have an NFL team.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't have a team that I really truly support. So it's kind of like you don't have a team and you trash because you just picked the team out of nowhere. And I'm like,
you kind of had to because there was no NFL team in Alabama.
Nope. Like I said, our NFL team is Alabama, and I'm not cheering for them. So.
Cool. All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and I look forward to you guys' show.
Yeah, I look forward to it as well.
Cool. All right, then. This is Matisse's Pieces on Twitter. Shayla.
Yes.
And there you go, and there you have it. Live. Shayla is live.
We're live on the fucking gutter.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP, that's OTAP, or following us on Twitter at OTAPshow. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen to the podcast on Podcast Republic. Just download the app and search OTAP Show. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.